before we start the potty today, we just wanted to send our thoughts and our love to the Munster family after the tragic passing of Stevie Munster. Just sending our love to obviously our boy Cameron, his sister Danielle, and his mum Debbie. We love you guys. We're here for you guys, and like I said, we're sending our thoughts and love to all the Munster family. So rest in peace, Stevie boy. You'll definitely be missed.
Welcome back, episode 21 of the 167 podcast. We've got a very special guest this week. Another Storm old boy, probably the GOAT, probably the best to ever do it. Storm player number 55, Cameron Smith. We are very lucky to have him in our studio for a good chat today. We chat plenty of things. We go through the primer, we go through footy, we go through our big fan moments and listeners' question of the week, which all of you wrote in. So he doesn't need much more of an introduction, but Cameron Smith on the 167 podcast. Massive. Let's go.
Hey, I recognise that fella, eh?
Hey, there we go.
Did he actually?
Told you.
Yeah, mate, ball boy.
Actually?
Yes.
Yeah, from all the Sydney games.
Yeah, that's the one.
Did someone tee you up with
Hey,
this or what?
Your old man's South African, eh?
Yeah, that's the one. See how good see.
Bro, we're actually just talking before.
You look a little bit different because you got like the big mow and everything now, but
Yeah, exactly. I haven't grown that much. I'm still about as tall as I was back then, but the beard's on.
This is,
how are you, bro?
Are we recording this?
I'm good. Yeah, we are recording. Yeah.
How are
We
you?
got to put that in, bro.
I'm good, mate. Good to see you again.
Awesome. So good. What
I'm
jersey
on
is
it.
that one? Heritage jersey, what's that?
Yeah, this is the new one. Came in the mail last week.
Oh, is it?
Hell.
Yeah, the one that Means and Pez were.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
They can't
Yeah.
call it heritage though, apparently.
Yeah, because
You're only allowed one every 3 years or 2 years.
so they called it
What?
alternate or something?
alternate. That's how
Yeah,
alternative
alternative,
strictly should go.
Righto.
But no, good to have you in, Smithy. We're going to start off with that. That's just a cracking
Yeah,
start.
kick
We've
it
done a
off.
pre-record.
Yeah.
You recognise
That's good, yeah.
Dave.
That's good.
Dave.
Yeah.
Well, now I'm a bit thrown because I actually did stitch Smithy up there and gave him a heads up. But did you just clue on that his dad was...
Oh, no, yeah, no, I know exactly who I'm talking to. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying, mate. He looks exactly the same, just with a big mo.
That's wild, eh? And the
Crazy.
fact that- well, and it comes off the back of, we were just talking here before about, Dan Pasqua sent me a message and wanted me to ask you about your photographic memory.
Photographic. Oh, yeah. There you
Which
go.
would tie in with that, right?
Yeah.
Mm.
Photographic memory. Yeah. No, it's, yeah, I don't know why I can recall things like that and like particular moments in games. I don't know. It's just weird. Just certain things stick in my mind, and we'd start talking about stuff. And I was like, "Oh yeah, no, I remember that. Yeah, no, it was tackle 4, and we went down like the short side and that play, and then we come back here and scored a try or whatnot." But I don't know how that works.
Is it the same with your golf game? Do you remember every shot?
No, not at the moment. I don't want to remember.
We have
shots at the moment.
I was saying before, you remember a lot of names too.
Yeah.
Like you're good at remembering names, and I feel like you would meet a lot of people. And obviously,
Mhm.
when you're playing rugby league, you meet a lot of people, and you just know everyone's name. How do you
Most
do that.
Yeah, most. I don't know. Well,
It's a skill.
I've
Is
got
it
this
just
little
a-
trick,
yeah.
right? So when you meet someone, right?
Okay, this is what I wanted to hear because
Here's some advice.
I need
There we
this
go.
tip because I'm
Here's some
bad.
advice, right? So if you meet someone for the first time, right? And they come up and say, "Hey, mate, Cameron,"
Yeah.
right? Every time you talk to me, use my name.
Yes, I have heard about this actually.
Every time you talk to me, like every time you say something to me, just go, "Oh, hey, so Cameron,
Cameron,
where are
yeah,
you
yeah.
from?"
Yeah.
Well, and I give my answer, and then you say, "Oh, okay, great. Hey, so Cam, like, tell us about this," and
And then it sticks in your head.
sticks. You're like, "Oh yeah, Cameron, yeah, I know
Okay.
him from there,
Yeah.
and that's what we spoke about, and bingo."
Hot tip.
But
That's a
I'll
good
tell you
tip.
what, hey boys, I'll tell you what though. I'll be
You
honest.
fake it, do you?
I'll be honest.
Every time you get it wrong.
Hey, I'll be honest. I've champed a few people.
Yeah.
Oh.
I've champed a few,
Oh,
and sometimes, right?
fine. I thought it was coffee.
There's been a few times where like people come up to me like, "Oh, hey Cam, yeah, remember me from
Yeah.
that thing you did at Rebel Sport in like 2004. I'm like, mate, no idea.
Yeah.
Sorry, brother. I just don't know.
Yeah.
I just don't know.
Oh, so you just admit that. Sometimes I'm like, oh,
Yeah, you get that at games now. Like,
yeah.
they're like, oh, hey, remember me? You took a photo of me in the Brisbane at Suncorp
Yeah.
5 years ago,
No.
and you're just like,
So hard.
yeah, that's right.
So hard. So hard. Nah, it's hard.
What are you doing down here, Smithy? What are you doing this neck of the woods? You live in the Goldie now, don't you?
Yeah, Goldie.
That way?
Yeah, Gold Coast. God's country, boys.
Yep.
Hughes will be up there when he finishes.
Agree.
Um,
In Aussie, anyway. New Zealand's the real God country. But.
No, just so, on the Gold Coast after I finished up, just wanted to move back home closer to family. So Gold Coast is like, it's about half hour away from where I grew up in Logan. Kids are settled, mate. Bubs, the wife settled. They're enjoying school. They're flat out with sport at the moment where like it's hectic as. I was thinking like finish playing football and like life would slow down
Chill.
a bit. Mate, not stop.
Opposite.
So I've come down today and talking about being hectic, mate. I've done so much media. It's a joke, mate.
Rattle us off.
So much.
Yeah, give us.
Yeah,
so
I'm here. I'm here with
Give us
Riley.
a sketch. What was
I'm
the
here with
sketch?
Riley. So I'm working for Channel 9 at the moment with the commentary, which I'm loving. Get to see you boys a lot. But I'm pumping up Origin 3 boys, the decider, Wednesday night, and just trying to get everyone down here in Melbourne, Victoria, to jump on board. Sorry, Paps. Are you a Queenslander too?
Queenslander.
Yeah, of course. Jump on board with Queensland.
Oh, so you're trying to convert the VIX.
Well, mate, no.
long
To
time
Queensland or to watch the game in general?
Well, both.
Yeah.
But in my time down here, like I lived down here nearly 20 years, mate, Vicks hate New South Wales as well. So I'm just reminding them, say, hey, make sure you watch Wednesday night. Queensland's your team. Well, man, the coach and the captain are Storm legends. Well, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
I think it's fair. I think everyone you ask down here, it's either because
Because of these
Coops
guys.
and Bill,
Yeah.
or the fact that
Yeah.
it's New South Wales and Vic's hate New South Wales. But
Yeah.
well, a lot of Vics retire up to Queensland as well, don't they? So you've got that link.
Mate, so do New South Welshmen.
Nah.
There's that many. Mate, so I live like on the southern end of Gold Coast, right?
Yeah.
Sort of close to the border. So you got people crossing over all the time with work and whatnot. But mate, everyone you talk to, where you from? New South Wales. Like, mate, what?
Yeah, right, interesting.
And they give it to me around Origin time. And I'm thinking to myself, right, so
You're the one who
you hate us Origin time, but you want to live here. Well, it's good enough to live here and use our state, but you hate our footy team.
Yeah.
Mate, go figure.
Well, there's a controversial actually. Dior, do you want to explain your
There's not much to explain.
What mileage?
situation?
That's what he is.
Yeah. Well,
What is-
I'm a Queensland fan for, I guess, a lot of the reasons you just provided. I grew up watching Smithy, Slats, Coops, GI as a Storm fan, so naturally
But
I'm
where
a
were you
Queensland
born?
fan. Somewhere around Sydney.
So was GI though, so you're all right.
Yeah, exactly.
What
Mate,
about Hoffman?
Kempsey, that's in Queensland.
He wasn't picked
What
enough,
about
Hoff.
Hoffman?
Yeah, what about Anthony Quinn? He also had a few good games for the Blues.
Steve Turner, Brett White.
Yeah.
There's a few of them.
yeah.
And you were born
Michael
there, so-
Crocker.
They just
Yeah.
weren't winning.
Yeah, true. That's,
Yeah, well, that's the key indicator, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, mate, fans love winners. So
But I guess you look now, right? The hurt that those New South Wales kids had, that's the wave that's come through now, right? So you've got, which would have been similar to
yeah, no, it is.
your,
Mm.
I guess,
Yeah,
coming through as a-
Yeah, well, we like when I was a little fella, like New South Wales was strong, right? Always strong, always. Through all the years, like we had some really good victories. Like I still remember '95, right?
I don't.
You blokes weren't born. You
I was just born. Yeah, I was one.
Yeah.
you weren't even born. That's how embarrassing. Jesus. So, mate, so I was 12. So I remember that. Like it's a significant year this year, right? Given it's 2025, but it was when Fatty come in. So what happened was, so the game, it's when Super League come in. Super League was coming in, right? There was this talk about, anyway, they started signing players to this break-off competition. So what they did was they banned all those players that were going to be involved in Super League.
Couldn't play Origin.
Weren't allowed to play Origin because Origin was owned by ARL.
Mm.
All right? So you got all these gun players just went, nah, sorry, can't play Origin. So Fatty got given, Paul Borton, he got given the role as coach of the Queensland side and just said, mate, you need to put together a side, but no Super League signed players. And he just went, okay, righto, well, who's available? And they were just like, mate, not many. So they they put together a side. Like they got Ben Eichen, right? 18 years of age.
Mm.
He played like 3 first grade games. I think there was a couple of blokes like playing Reggie's, got him in, and they beat like all the guns. Like Joey Johns was playing, Chief Harrigan, so all the guns like from Newcastle, Manly, Spud Carroll, all these like blokes that were playing for Australia that was still a part of the ARL clubs, and they beat them 3-0.
Yeah, wow.
So I remember that stuff.
Mm.
You know, so it was pretty
Yeah,
even.
yeah.
When I was a young fella, it was pretty even. A little bit before me,
New South Wales were dominant.
New South Wales were fairly dominant. So, yeah, I think, you know, I was lucky though, right? Because I got to grow up watching guys like Alan Langer. I've seen a little bit of Wally in the last sort of couple of years of his career. You know, we all know Wally, you know, he's Wally Lewis, the king. You know, Mal Meninga, Kevy Walters, just, mate, like golden era of rugby league and particularly State of Origin.
Yeah, see, my experience of Origin in my early years would
have been these guys.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it literally was. Yeah,
Yeah.
But and there's times where you'd think like you don't get the love of it because you're like you're getting beat all the time, right? But it's not until you get older and appreciate. Oh, actually, you know, it's
Yeah.
what it is now, and that hurt stems you up to, I guess, want to be part of it and
Yeah.
want to beat the other states. It's like, well, yeah, hopefully the boys will get it done.
How close have you been to getting a start, you reckon?
I was in camp in 2020 because remember they did it at the end of the year that year. I don't know how close I was, but yeah, I guess being in the squad, you sort of feel like you're close enough.
Yeah.
And then I guess the years after just being injured. So
Injuries, yeah.
Well, I thought you would have been pretty close this year, like we spoke about.
Yeah,
You
same.
started really well, but I think it's just that fullback. Like, how many fullbacks can you
Yeah, that's
take
right.
in?
It's hard, it's hard to crack.
Yeah. Because how many can you take into camp?
Oh, I think it's 20.
20, yeah.
Yeah, 20.
Which is not much, really,
18th
is it?
man can't leave. I think the 19th and 20th can
Go back
and go back and play. Yeah, but it's not many, mate.
yeah. And it's like you look at the makeup their side too. Like you got Dill, who's just solid as a fullback.
Yeah.
Like it's just hard to crack. Like it's just
Yeah.
sure there would have been guys in Queensland when obviously you boys were coming
Yeah,
through.
yeah. No,
you know
mate,
that
yeah.
they would have been picked straight
Yeah.
away. But it's
Yeah,
just
it's
not
just, there's not many
timing
positions.
sometimes, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I guess injuries haven't helped, but I don't know. I still feel like if we win, I'm happy. If we lose, there'll be part of me that's like, oh, I wish I could have
Been
Been
part
in
of
there.
it,
Yeah.
So
What about 14? 14?
Hey, he's been there for us. He was a rookie. Played for us.
yeah,
a
yeah.
couple of times.
boys reckon it's
Surely it's
expired.
nearly expired.
No, it's coming up. Coming up 5 years now. Jeez.
Oh,
Well,
5
it's probably
years.
expired, but I don't know. Like, I feel like when you're just in that arena, you just do
Do what you need.
it. Well, that's what I did when I was playing for the Storm off the bench too. You just do whatever you wanted because you played rugby. Like you just want to play NRL.
yeah. Do what you have to do, to
Yeah.
get yourself in there.
Yeah.
And yeah. So I don't know. Maybe we'll see. Still a few more years in me. So see how we
Speaking
go.
of that, is so you thinking about picking him 14 for the Aussie team, are you?
Oh,
Is that why you asked me?
mate. Holy. These are hard. These are the toughest questions I've had all day. Jesus. What are you playing into the year? What are you doing?
Oh, that's it.
So you're referring
We're
to
not playing
you're
you
referring to the
fellas.
Aussie job.
Yeah, I am.
Yeah.
I am.
Well, look, you know what, boys, my name's been tossed up, but I made a comment about, you know, coaching and my thoughts on coaching. At this point in my life, right, I have no aspirations at all to coach club footy.
Yep.
I've seen Bellyache, right? Your coach, or, you know, my old coach, and what he goes through, and well, that and like the emotional roller coaster, but like the commitment that you have to give, like to the team, to the players. I don't think I have that in me right now. State of Origin, it's just a beast. You know, watching Billy do his thing over the last few years, you know, particularly the last 12 months. I reckon it's tested him out a little bit. But if there was any job available that I would consider doing, it would be the Kangaroos. Like at the end of the day, like it'd be quite a privileged position to have, like coaching the national side. I was lucky enough to play for the Kangaroos, and I understand, you know, the significance of being a part of that program. You know, So if I had the opportunity, it'd be great. I haven't spoken to anyone about it. Anyone in the NRL or commission or anything like that. I don't know exactly what they're thinking. Up until a couple of weeks ago, I think we all just assumed that Freddie Fittler was going to get the job until he sort of made himself unavailable. So we'll see what happens.
Well, here's the force.
See what happens.
Smithy, please.
Am I sort
this
of
is straight down the barrel. I want to be the next Australian.
This is the audition.
No. We'll see what happens. There's my name's been tossed out there. Kirby Walters, Wayne Bennett as well now. There's some rules in place at the moment, but I think the game's looking at maybe possibly changing that. Yeah, if Wayne Bennett was the coach, well, the team's in great hands, isn't it? He's one of the best coaches the game's seen in a long, long time.
Is there a rule where you can't do both?
Yeah, the rule at
Trick.
the moment is if you're involved in clubland, you can't have a role with the Australian side. Yeah, but like we've seen the commission and the chairman Peter Villandy's, they're pretty happy to change rules as they see fit, and if they do that, then as I said, if Wayne Bennett was to get the gig, well, he's a great coach. He'll do a good job.
Fair enough.
Well, they're going to have to come up with something soon. They got a
well, it's a big trip. It's 3
Yeah.
months away. So August, September. Well, it's 2 weeks after the grand final. The Australian team leave, and it's a significant year because it's an Ashes.
Ashes, yeah.
They haven't played an Ashes series
ages.
since 2003, I think it is. So it's like 22 years.
Yeah.
I was never involved in one. We only when we went overseas, it was Four Nations and World Cup.
So not a straight Ashes.
No, not a straight Ashes series against England. So
true.
that's, and again, talking about sort of childhood memories of footy. That was the prestigious part of playing for the Kangaroos was going on the Kangaroo tour, but they'd go for like a couple of months, wreak a bit of havoc in England, and come home. Yeah,
a couple of months.
But they play. But what they do was right. They take a whole squad and
play different club teams in that.
Yeah, they'd play like Super League teams,
Leeds and
midweek.
Yeah.
The British and Irish Lions.
Yeah,
Something
like that.
a lot like that.
Yeah, now,
like the Lions tour, exactly like that. Yeah.
How long's this one for? The Ashes?
No, it's hit and
Just
run.
3
It's
games,
3 games, mate. Yeah.
3 weeks.
So they travel over.
Week
Opening
off.
game is in Wembley.
Mm.
Nearly sold out. Like that. And then the next game is, I think, is it Everton? Is that
Everton
right?
Stadium in Liverpool.
Everton. So it's a brand new
Yep.
stadium. It's where Everton play out of. Sold out. And then they finish at Headingley up in Leeds.
Yep. Just like rugby league.
Oh yeah,
Heartland.
that's a good
Sold out.
stadium.
Wow.
So, like, for those players that are lucky enough to go over, like, I've mentioned before, and you've played over there as well in England, but it's great atmosphere. It's so good playing in front of English fans. Like, they get their chants going, their songs. And the thing that I found about the English supporters is that they actually appreciate, like, good footy, even if you're the opposition team. So, like, if you score a good try or put together a good sequence of plays, like, they'll applaud you. And then after the game, like, you do your lap and, high-fiving and photos or whatnot, like, they'll applaud you as you walk past them. So good. Very different out here. Just get hammered. Just get hammered.
You're not the home team, you're getting sprayed.
Yeah.
We'll be cheering you on, Smithy. Hopefully you get that
Oh,
right.
yeah.
Thank you. Hopefully you give us if you do.
Thank you.
But no, we've got our prime. We'll roll into our prime. We usually start the potty off, but I think, definitely got carried away there. But
Yeah, that was good.
Good value.
Good start.
Prime, we've actually got a sponsor for the Primer this week. Heads of State, new movie out on Prime Video. Check it out. As many of you know, I'm not too fond of my actors, but Idris Elba and John Cena are the main 2 men for this movie. John Cena is the US president and Idris Elba is the UK Prime Minister. So I actually know my actors for this one, which is quite interesting.
Yeah, well, it's about 2 blokes who couldn't be more different, different people, but they got to team up to save the world. So pretty cool movie, lots of action. Yeah, it's a good one. So go check it out.
Which then takes us into this week's primer.
Mm.
It's made me think. Who is your ideal partner in crime? But then there's second part to the question. Who would be the worst person you could be stuck with on a mission? So I'm thinking we go from the playing group. Smithy, you can go from whatever.
Any player or
you can
whatever.
Go from this current playing group, you can go from your playing group at the time.
Or you can throw some Channel 9 people under the bus too.
Oh, geez, I bet not. Nice long contract.
Nice long contract. Yeah, no, we can cut it out. So yes, we'll go ideal partner in crime.
Yep.
We'll start us off with that.
Yep.
And then
We'll go
finish
the
strong.
bad one.
Yeah.
Ideal partner in crime.
For a mission.
Mission. Well, we've got to think. Need someone that's going to cover all bases, right? It's going to be an all-rounder. That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
All-rounder. Probably. You know what? I'm going to go Billy. Right? So, like gun footy player, one of the best fullbacks to ever play our game. But he was a dual Australia's most talented athlete. Remember
That's
that?
right. Yeah, that was an Ironman. What was it?
Man, it was like, they had to do everything. They had to like drive jet skis. They had to do like swimming challenges. They had to like climb ropes.
What?
They do what?
They like climb up big telegraph.
Yeah, like, and he smashed it 2 years in a row.
So it's like perfect
I
for...
remember that, eh?
Yeah,
cycling.
Australia's greatest athlete, I think it was. Is it?
Channel 9 film, is it?
Mate,
wow, there you
I'd
go.
throw Billy back in. He'd probably win it still.
Yeah.
But anyway, so I'm going to go Billy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fair
Yeah.
enough. I'd agree with
Yeah,
that.
Bill's a good one.
Dudes, what do you got?
I'm going to go you, Paps.
Me?
Yeah.
Well, Pappy.
I reckon just because you think differently. I reckon I'm going to use your mind, and obviously you're an athlete as well. So, use your mind and your athleticism.
Okay.
I was going to say your body, but I can't say I don't want to say that. I reckon you'll think differently on missions, and you'll be able to sort it out. And I'm not good at any of that sort of stuff. You could just use me as a pawn or something. So go do the dirty work for you.
I appreciate it. Hughes. I'll take that as a
Yeah.
compliment. Well, I'll kick us off with both because my best and worst are the same person.
Yep.
Jack Helmuth.
Why?
He's surprisingly street smart.
Okay.
So I feel like he'd have some clues. And if like the mission's out in nature, he'd have that sorted.
Hmm.
But then also like we think very differently as well.
Yep.
I think the best thing is he doesn't think a lot of the time.
Hmm.
So I feel like that's a real good asset to have. And then worst because if shit hits the fan, we're in trouble.
Just
crumble.
We're in trouble. I'm by
Crumble?
myself.
Crumble.
Yeah,
Violet
we're
crumble.
crumbling there.
Yeah.
Well, we have a good time. It's fun, but I don't think it's going to be ideal when we're
Mm.
push comes to
So
shove.
both.
So he's going to be my worst. Best and worst, Jack Helmuth.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, easily.
Music?
I'm just. He doesn't watch this anyway, but I'm going to go bellyache. Because I reckon something goes wrong, he just starts getting frustrated.
Oh,
He'll
mate.
start swearing at you.
Even when it's going good, he's frustrated.
He's not tech savvy, so he can't use any. He's so bad with his technology.
Doesn't have an email.
Doesn't have an email. Like barely carries his phone. He actually got like lost on the weekend. He didn't get lost, but the boys
Where?
played in Townsville.
Yeah.
Quick story.
How do you get lost in Townsville?
The boys went and done the coaching staff went and done Castle Hill, is it called?
Yep.
Went and ran up that. They all went up there, finished, and then he had a couple stairs left, and the boys went and looked at the scenery, and then he come back down, and he thought they were gone. He thought they left them,
What?
but they were still up there, just looking at the view.
Well, he
So-
come back down the bottom.
Yeah, so he went back down, didn't have his phone or anything, and then he was like obviously blowing up at the boys for leaving him, which they didn't.
Yep.
He got someone and he hitchhiked home back to the Mercure. Jumped in someone's car. and got
Really?
him to drop him
he
back off.
hitchhiked home?
Yeah,
No way.
from Castle Hill, and they were all still there. And then apparently they were up there. Like
Is that
they rang and
is that illegal?
yeah.
Hopefully he doesn't get in trouble.
We can can this. We can can this.
We'll work at a deal.
But yeah, that's what I mean. He just
No way.
Yeah, he just got rattled and he ended up hitchhiking. Well, he apparently went up to the guy and said, "Oh, how far's Mercure?" Because he thought he had to walk there, and the blokes just said, "Yeah, jump in, I'll take you back."
Mate, it's that's at a 10-minute walk.
From Castle Hill back to Mercure.
Yeah,
You just wrap around the front and like there's one road.
yeah, it's not that far,
It's one road that dead set takes you straight to Mercure.
but he would have got lost.
Yeah, he doesn't know.
To be fair, he had no idea where he was, and he didn't have a phone on him, so he would have just got lost. But
Wow, so you got some substance behind it.
yeah, so that's why I wouldn't want to team up with him on anything.
Yeah.
And he'd probably spray the shit out of me for not doing things right. But Smithy?
My worst. Oh, geez. Probably one of my older teammates, Danny Williams. You met D-Dub.
D-Dub, yeah.
Legend. He's a legend, and I love you, Dan. But yeah, hothead.
Yeah.
Just, you know what I mean? Like if something was to go a little bit awry or got under his skin, it just snapped.
Snap.
You just wouldn't be able to work together. It'd be too hard. No. Be talking to a ghost.
Yeah.
You use him as a bodyguard, though. At least you got.
Oh,
least
well,
you
yeah,
won't get hurt.
yeah, for some muscle.
Yeah, at least you got
Which
some
he
muscle.
did look after me a fair bit at the very beginning of my career. Yeah, probably D-Dub.
Yeah.
D-Dub, I like that.
Good stuff, lads. Make sure you check out Heads of State on Prime Video. It is out now. Big action, big laughs, and probably a better team up than any of us could imagine. Beauty. Okay, let's talk some footy. We did some off the bat, but let's talk Origin Game 3, 2025.
The decider.
The decider.
Down to the wire.
In Sydney.
Mm.
Many deciders in Sydney, Smithy?
Have you played a
wrapped
mini?
up for game two?
No, we had a decider there 2008. We won that one. We had a decider there in 2013, I think it was. We won that one. Yeah. Off the top of my head. No, I've been involved in a few deciders actually. Like through that period, right? Of the 8 years in a row, or whatnot. Like a lot of people say, the dominance in Queensland dominated. Like we didn't really. There was only one series where we got a whitewash. That was 2010. But there was a lot of occasions where it was 1-1 going into game 3. So like this is a massive game. Like considering how this series has gone, like Queensland game 1 at home, it's always a big test, right? Game 1 for both sides. But Queensland was well below our best. Well below our best.
That's uncool.
Quite disappointing, really. Playing in front of the home crowd. And New South Wales sort of dispatched of us quite comfortably. And then from there, right, like the talk was, well, how much is New South Wales going to win game 2? It wasn't even any chat about can Queensland level the series over in Perth. Last time we went to Perth a few years back, like we got hammered. 2022, I think it was. We got hammered over there. Absolutely hammered. So all the discussions and all the chat from the guys that have been around in the game for a long time was like, well, it's not even about who can win; it's how much New South Wales will win by. So, complete turn of the tables, particularly the first half. And there was a lot said about the officiating, but when you actually look at the penalties that were blown, all that sort of stuff, New South Wales were pretty ill-disciplined. There's probably a couple of 50-50s, which are in all games, right? But most of them...
I think that's where,
So that's what makes for such an interesting game 3. I don't think either side, right? I don't think either side has shown us, like, their best performance. I think they've both been far from their best, like, complete performance, I mean. Like, Queensland were quite good first half. New South Wales were very good second half in game 2. They were a little bit both, I guess, below their best in game 1, but sometimes that happens. So, this is going to be unbelievable, this game 3. I think it's going to be a cracking game.
So sitting there then, you're Queensland. You obviously experienced it. What do you said, like, positions before where it's been 1-1.
Yeah.
You're sitting there for game 3 in Sydney. Like, how do you prepare for that? Like, are you not looking at anything in the media? Are you getting a bit to get motivated? Like, how does that all come about?
Yeah, I think come this game, right, decider, I think if you're trying to find something in the media to motivate you, you probably shouldn't be there. Right? There's enough motivation for you there to go out and play well. For these type of games, it's all about, like, camp environment's always important, right? To make sure that everyone's relaxed, enjoying their time in camp with each other, making sure that when it's time to work, like, you're working hard, as you guys do with Storm every week. But come this period now, right? So from the weekend, I'm shutting out everything that's going on outside of our camp, right? So I've organised ticketing, travel, all that stuff that really has no bearing on the way I'm going to play, and just narrowing my focus to what do I need to do for my footy side? What does the coach need me to do? And really just completely zeroing in on that. Like game threes, you can get caught up in the hype of it all and think of, it's going to be a big play or a flashy play or something like that, and start thinking about, like what ifs and after the game, back page and what's going to be the headlines, what's going to be the story. Like in Origin, you can't think about that and you can't go looking for it. It'll be there, it'll appear, and you just got to make it happen. And the only way you can do that is by having yourself ready to go to play every moment. It's so different to NRL. It's so different to NRL because those moments, right, you might get 3 chances. You might get 2 chances where the opposition give you a slight opportunity to do something and you got to make it happen.
Do you have those conversations with the playing group, or is that something personal that you just go in with? You know what I mean? Like it's sort of
Yeah.
because I feel like that's you and you've done that for years. But like the guy who's first Origin might be definitely not thinking like that, right?
Yeah.
Like is that something you address? Is that something? Yeah.
Yeah, well, mate, when I become captain, like they're the type of things I'd talk about.
Yeah.
And I was lucky enough to be on the coaching staff with Billy and the first 2 years when he started, 22, 23. And I'd speak to the group about that, about Origin, how it's so different to NRL footy where, there's so few opportunities that are given to you in a game where NRL is a little bit different. You can create a lot of stuff. Whereas you think in Origin, like it's the best 34 players in the world playing against each other. Like they're all at the top of their game. No one's going to give anyone an opportunity, right? Until you sort of break them down and you're sort of hoping that someone's going to clock off for a second. But that's all you're going to get. So that's the mindset of don't go looking for big plays. Look at all the small moments in a game and make them count. Make them count. And, like when we've played together in big matches, I'm sure I spoke about that and mentioned that. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like that's the difference. If you look at the decider last year, right, if you cast your mind back, 2-0 at halftime, and then Lomax steps up second half, kicks a goal, 2 each. There was 2 moments that separated Queensland and New South Wales. Mitch Moses, line break try, Jerome Luai, like individual stuff, right? Luai down the left edge, line break, best try.
Yeah.
That was it.
No big plays. No.
That was it.
Yeah.
Like there was some big tackles, there was some huge effort plays, diving on loose balls, all that type of stuff, scrambling on the line. But those 2 moments, that's what I mean. That's what the result can really hinge on.
Is that why you would practice your big plays just constantly throughout the year in the hope that if it ever does, or if you do need to turn onto it, you've done that work?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah.
And you practice them over and over, right?
Yeah.
For just that one moment that might arise. And you feel it.
Yeah.
You feel it and you go, right, let's go. Let's put it on. Make it happen.
There you go.
It's that easy, eh?
It's not easy.
No. I know what you mean.
All right, well, let's get our little predictions in for Game 3. I hate predicting, but I guess we all know what we're going to go for.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, I'm going to go...
We'll go
So we go on score line?
We'll go score line.
Man of the match?
Man of the match.
Yep.
And...
First try scorer, maybe? I don't know.
I got a different one.
Yeah.
A minute of the game that's going to break open.
It's a minute.
We're talking about moments.
Yeah, okay.
When's the first big moment going to happen?
Okay.
What does that count? Is it like a try or?
Try.
Error.
Yeah. Turning.
Yeah.
Like just
There's
a
no
turning moment.
Yeah,
you know?
okay. Yep.
Okay. Turning point. I'm going to say turning point's going to be 54th minute of the game.
I think it's going to be late too.
That's my turning point of the game.
Yep.
Blues are up
54th.
half time.
Yeah.
12-8. 54th minute, Blues score again, game over.
Okay.
That's my prediction.
So what's that? 18-8.
18-8.
So,
Queensland score
so
late.
12-8 half time.
Yeah.
So New South Wales have scored 3 tries
Yeah,
because they can't kick goals.
He said yes. He just got it. Yeah, he said yep. I'll back him with yep. Give him a chance. 3 tries to 2 half time. That 12-8. New South Wales score 54th minute.
Yep.
8-8.
Ice it.
18-8. Queensland score late, but game over.
So 18-16.
18,
Final score.
18-14.
18-14.
18-14. Yep.
Yep.
Final score.
Okay.
Blues win.
All
Did
right.
you say first try scorer?
Yeah.
Lomax.
Lomax. Okay.
Don't mind that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go real tight. I reckon it's gonna be low scoring. I reckon it's gonna be low scoring. I reckon the rest's gonna
What's low
let
scoring
stuff
these
play.
days, though?
Well, maybe like I'm gonna say 10-12, 12-10
Wow.
to
Okay.
Queensland. I reckon New South Wales are gonna lead 10-6 for a long time.
Oh,
And then
yes.
the turning point will be in the, I'm going to say late 64th minute.
Ooh.
I don't know
like
what
it.
it's going to be.
I like
I don't
it.
know what it's
Okay,
going to be,
so we're-
but then Queensland's going to score and then go up 2 points and then just use that Queensland spirit to hold on.
You're a Kiwi boy.
Just to
I
hold
like it.
on.
Okay.
12-10.
And first try scorer.
First try scorer, I'm going to go our mate Xavier Coates
Ooh.
to go first.
X.
Okay.
Big X-Man.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah,
Smithy,
that's
what do
me.
you got?
Yeah, I'm going to go. I reckon it's going to be 1 try the difference. I reckon it's going to be, and the turning point will be, I don't know, as soon as you said turning point, 68 come to mind. So 68th minute, 12 minutes to go. I reckon that's when the deadlock will be broken. So it's going to be 18 all.
Yeah.
68th minute, Queensland are going to score. 24-18.
Yeah.
Final score. First try scorer, the Hammer.
Mm.
Playing fullback.
Fullback hammer.
Mm.
Hamiso.
He's coming off a 4-try game.
Yeah,
he got
fullback.
4 for the Finns.
Yeah.
4 for the Finns.
And he's busy.
Yeah.
Loves being on the ball.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Round the ruck, gets out wide, chases kicks, all of it.
He can support because he can just run. He can
So
be anywhere and can
fast.
still
Yeah.
catch up to whoever makes
So
a line
fast.
break. So.
Any line breaks, it's nearly
Nearly try.
guaranteed over.
Shut
Yeah.
up. Man, he jogs and smiles.
Yeah, I know.
It's so, like, watching him, I'm like, makes me angry.
Just glides.
Because any time I had to run anything over like 20 meters, I was in pain.
grimace.
Oh,
Get there.
Yeah, but he doesn't have to make 100 tackles during
Yeah,
the game
true.
either. So
Oh, yeah,
you,
true.
You do
True.
avoid that.
Yeah,
True.
Yeah. All right, there's our origin predictions. Dave, you got some questions there? I see.
Yeah, just we'll keep going on the origin train. I think everyone wants to know, Smithy, the Queensland Mind Games
Yeah.
happens every year almost. Is that real? Are they spoken about in camp? Is Harry Grant really sick? Does he just have ringworm or is it all fake?
Yeah, nah, true. He does. Yeah, I wouldn't be
Ringworm.
surprised.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Dirty
ringworm.
man, yeah.
He's is he renowned ringy? Of having a
he's
few of
okay.
them?
Nah, he's actually
Oh,
pretty
he's
good.
cleaned up.
I was going to throw him under the bus and say yes,
Okay.
but he's not. He's actually pretty good.
No, well, I seen the boys. I seen the boys Saturday morning.
Yeah.
I ducked into camp. I was passing through the sunny coast, so I seen him. And Harry's great. Yeah, it gets joked about a little bit. The illness through the Queensland camp or someone's injured
Someone's
in the lead up. It's always the case, but no, it's never spoken about. Never spoken about. It just happens that way, I think. But I don't know. Like, was Harry sick?
Yeah, it was at the media because I did talk to
The
him.
media can, like, you're in the media now, Smithy. You obviously have to be careful, but I feel
Yeah.
like because it's been a narrative in the past, it just
They just add on
somehow
to it.
gets
Yeah.
onto it.
They just. Oh, right.
Yeah.
So it could be made up, really.
Yeah, I asked him. I said,
Yeah.
Fake
I
news?
said,
Yeah.
hope you're feeling better. And he goes, mate, it was nothing. I just had like a little cold, and
Yeah.
they
Someone probably seen him have it, like, blow his nose.
bloody yeah,
He's like,
no,
"Oh,
he's
mate,
got a
he's
virus.
sick." Rule him out.
Yeah.
No, he was good. I spoke with H for a couple of minutes, and no, he's
Yeah,
fine.
he's-
he's good.
And like that far out from a game too, like
Yeah, like a cold really matter.
yeah.
Like
Yeah.
that far out, like a week before a game.
Yeah.
Mm. Yeah, a lot of people wanting to know as well. Shibasaki on debut in the centers, lining up against Critter.
Mm.
Like, huge responsibility, game 3 debut.
Yep.
Would you have some words for him? Did you have a similar situation with anyone debuting in a decider?
Cam Munster debuted and decided 2017,
That's
and
right.
he had a massive talk about like massive shoes to fill. He was coming in for Jonathan Thurston,
Mm.
Mm.
who injured his shoulder in game 2 at Sydney. played half a game with a torn rotator cuff.
Kicked the goal too, didn't he?
Kicked the goal
to
from
win
the
it?
sideline to win it. Yeah, to win it for us. To put us to 18-16, to put us into the decider.
Mm.
So we lost game one, much like this year. So we lost game one in Brizzy. Blues beat us pretty easily. Like we played so poorly in game one. And then had to go to Sydney. He didn't actually play, actually. Jonathan Thurston, he missed game one as well.
Yeah, and then he played
Anthony Milford played.
the MILF.
Yeah.
2017.
Milf. Yeah.
Shit.
So come back game two and tore the rotator cuff first half, come out, just battled through the second half, kicked that goal. Must have been in some pain.
Yeah.
And then, game three, had to bring Munster in. Funny story, though. So Kevy Walters is coaching, right? And anyway, so he rang me up. I'm captain. He rang me up after game two and said, "Mate, what are you thinking game three? Who do you reckon?" I said, "Mate, bring Munster in." And he's like, "Oh,
that's not what I want to hear.
Are you sure?" Yeah, I don't think you want to hear that name, right? And I said, "Mate, bring him in. I'm telling you, he'll play well. Trust me." And he's like, "Oh, yeah." I said, "Mate, he's in good form at the moment. Like, give him a crack." Anyway, so we go into camp. He picks him, and we go into camp. Mate, his first 3 sessions, trained like an absolute dog.
You run up to the side and do shuttles.
You know, mate. You know how
Boots the ball and
you know how time, like with Melbourne, you come out and you're just like, "Mate, is this bloke a first grader?
You
Just can't catch a ball, can't pass a ball."
You would have known him training like that. You're like, he's on.
Yeah,
No, I did.
He has his best games after
And
a
so
shit week.
that's what I was going to say. Like, mate, Kevy was stressing. Like, he's like rubbing his face and he's like, "Oh." And I'd go over him after the session. I'd say, "Mate, like, just relax. That means he's going to play the house down, right?" So he comes out, mate. He like,
Killed it, eh?
mate, set up 2 tries. Like, mate, he absolutely brained him. And so, yeah, like game 3, big occasion.
Is that at Suncorp?
There was.
Again?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Suncorp. Yep. So with Shibasaki, you know, like his form's been great for the Broncos. Like he's got a great story, eh?
It's pretty crazy, eh?
I remember versing him junior origins. He was a good
okay.
fullback, good player.
Yeah.
Really good player.
Then he was
And
nearly
then
lost to the game.
Yeah,
Well, he was at the Cows, right?
Yeah.
yeah.
He was at the Cows. Did a stint in rugby. I think he was playing Japanese rugby.
Yep.
Was he?
Like was playing Queensland Cup end of last year. Is that right?
Yeah.
And then start of this year, turns up at the Bronx, training trial,
yeah.
like contract. Not even guaranteed a spot with the
In
Bronx.
the 30, yeah.
And now he's playing State of Origin. So I reckon he'll do well. I reckon he'll do well. Like it's one game where he has to get up for, and it's his debut. So I think he's going to have a great game. Tough opponent, Critter.
The thing with Gem though is like this is how I look at it from my perspective, right? Is he had talent and he was a good player.
Yeah.
And he just had a few years where he's gone off, but like he's got the confidence that he's back there now.
back,
Being
yeah.
picked for Queensland. Like everyone's quick to forget he was one of Queensland's best junior prospects coming through. So it's like him having
He's always been.
Yeah. It's not like he's
so
just walked off the street and now he's playing Origin. So.
Yeah, so it's obviously a tough matchup against Critter, but still, like, it's not like he's just a...
No.
It takes some confidence from the other centre too. Like Robert Toya's done a great job. He only debuted this year. And in Origin.
And speaking with Billy, like through the camps and that, he reckoned he's so impressive. So impressive. He reckons he's proper athlete. Proper athlete. He come through, he played at Nudgee College.
Yeah, I think Jack Howells was telling me about him earlier in the year and said he's going to be a gun.
Yeah.
He's going to be a
he's a baby,
footballer.
mate.
Yeah.
20.
Yeah, he's young.
20.
Crazy, eh?
So, yeah, a couple of good ones. Oh, yeah, so, mate, Shibasaki, he'll play well. Play really well.
Yeah. All right, we'll talk some footy in a sec. Last couple, a lot of people wanting to know your favourite series in terms of like the team that was around you, and then if you had a favourite Origin moment.
Yeah, favourite series, I'd probably go 17, just the way we won it. I think 17 and 15. 17 was good because I didn't know at the time that was going to be my last game. I made the decision at the start of 2018 to finish up. But looking back on it, like it was, and from a personal point of view as well, I didn't play all that great, or to my own standard, in the first 2 games. I hardly ran the ball. I did a lot of tackling and a bit of organising, but hardly ran the football. And I remember coming off the park at a core after game 2 where, JT had that goal kick where we won and sort of kept the series alive. And I did the presser afterwards and spoke about the game or whatnot. And I just said, someone asked me about my personal performance or my series thus far. And I just said, look, I'm pretty disappointed with the way I've played so far. I really haven't added or contributed too much to our attack. I need to run the football, and that's what I'm going to be doing in game 3. So I said it straight after the game. And so I made a point of it in the preparation, just run at training, just consciously have runs when we're doing opposed or, some ball work training.
Yeah.
And then come out of the game and did it, and it worked for us. I think I had an early run, made a bit of a, I think it was it Andrew Fafita? He was a little bit late getting to marker, so I took a bit of a dart, got under his tackle, offloaded to Billy. He gave it a coop back inside. Thought we scored, but I think he knocked on. A little bit later, took another run, half went through, passed it back on the side, back inside the big Papa, Josh Papali'i.
Yeah.
We end up scoring off this
Coops kick?
unbelievable kick from Coops.
I feel like I was watching those highlights.
Out to Val.
Yeah.
Out to Val. That was his second try of the night. But yeah, that stands out to me, just the way we that series panned out. 2015 was a little bit different. We won game 1, played game 2 down here in Melbourne, and like they hammered us. And all the talk was Queensland had this like dad's army team. So it was myself, like JT, Billy. Billy actually, that was his last game of the year. He had shoulder surgery after that.
Yeah.
That's when Munn got his start, fullback.
Yeah.
And they were just into us, and we're like, so we took it personally. We're like, nah, like we're not done, mate. And at that stage, like 25, so we're 32. All that crew, like myself, Coops, JT, a couple of older players as well. Anyway, we didn't speak about it as a group. We just
Knew.
in the back of our mind, we knew, and we come out that game and we won 52-6. So that was a really good night. That was a great series. As far as one moment's concerned, I can't go past 2006. That was a decider here as at Marvel. At no stage were we ever in front or leading. For majority of the game until the last 2 minutes. Brett Hodgson
Lockie
threw a wild pass. Darren Lockyer, the captain,
right.
he jumped on a loose ball. And talk about being under pressure. So Mal grabbed Lockie, Steve Price, and Petro Sivnasiva. I think it was those 3 boys, and said to him before that game 3, hey, I just want to let you know, if we lose this will be the last game that you play for Queensland. Because we were facing, right? If we lost that would have been 4 series in a row that we lost to New South Wales, which had never been done before.
Yeah. That's
like
heaps.
Queensland had won 3 straight, New South Wales had won 3 straight, but they were looking at doing 4 in a row, which had never been done. So he put those 3 on notice. They were the senior players.
Yeah.
Darren Lockyer was the captain of Queensland.
Yeah.
He was the captain of Australia, and just said, "Hey boys, if we lose this, that'll be it." Yeah. 2 minutes to go, loose ball. Brett Hodgson from dummy half, and like he done many times, he's just on the spot and scored it. And yeah, that one will be forever the moment, I reckon, in my career.
Was that the start of the?
Yeah, that was a run.
The streak?
Yeah, that was the start, mate.
Yeah.
So if that doesn't happen,
who knows?
Who knows?
Yeah.
Mate, that might have been my last Origin game too. Who knows, mate? Well, I might have been done as well.
The moral of the story there is New South Wales media just don't. Just
Yeah.
don't do anything. Origin time, just go on holidays.
Yeah.
Send them away. Let them do their own stuff.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's been the catalyst for a lot of series.
To be fair, it has been pretty tamed, I reckon, this year.
I think they're
The
learning.
media stuff.
Oh, mate, quiet.
Yeah, very quiet.
Well, until
All that woodsy stuff.
until that one come up.
Yeah, that was
That
was a bit crazy, but not much else though.
No,
eh?
they've been very, very quiet.
Yeah.
Well, because like you look at both coaches, right? So Billy, as competitive as he is, like he's very respectful of opposition. Same as Laurie Daly. I don't know. Have you boys met Laurie Daly?
I've
before?
met him, but
he's one of the nicest blokes you'll ever meet.
Yeah.
Fierce competitor as well.
Yeah.
If you watched him play, like you talk to some of the legends of New South Wales Rugby League, like they rate him the best Blues player ever.
Really?
You know what I mean? He was so good. So
Yeah, he
talking about that era that I grew up in, he was one of
Man.
the Blues that just tormented Queensland.
Yeah.
But both coaches they've got great respect for each other, and each other's teams. So that's why it's probably been a little bit subdued,
tamed,
I
yeah.
guess. Yeah.
I think it's fair enough.
The game's
What,
still
are
make
you
it.
looking to toss something out? or-
No. I was hoping you had something for
Oh,
it.
please. There's no way.
No. I don't mind it. It doesn't bother me. I don't like that sort of stuff anyway. So
No. You're just a big advocate for having an international period on this time, aren't you?
oh yeah, I just want the international. Bring back the Anzac Test. You would have played in a few
Yeah.
Anzac Tests.
Yeah.
Obviously, you can't. Origin's a bit hectic. It'd be hard to
Played in a handful.
add an Anzac Test to.
Yeah, played in a handful.
Imagine you
to
did
the
it like
boys.
after. I don't know how they did it. So this is probably how maybe they did it like this. But like, you have
So it
an
was before
series.
Origin, mate.
Yeah, it was before
It was
Origin.
before.
Oh, so you go Origin series, then you go. All right, we're going to pick our Australian team off the best performers in that Origin series. They're gonna be
True.
Aussie side,
Yeah.
Kiwi side. Week after Origin finishes, standalone weekend. That played with the other nations.
Everyone has a bye.
Yeah, everyone has a bye.
Yeah, I don't
What
mind.
goes on?
Nice, Pep Valandis. Just give it a go.
You reckon the clubs will go with that?
Yeah, no,
I don't know. If you're letting them play 3 Origins, like what's
true.
you know?